Alright, so this graph, we're going to show a price searcher that's making zero economic profit, which means that the firm is not making any profit or loss, but they're just covering their operational costs. So just like the last price searcher, there are many small firms in this market. They're free to enter or exit, and they differ slightly in their products. So we've got our P and our Q, and then we're going to draw in our demand curve, which is once again vertical, and we'll label the demand curve right there. Then we've got to put in our marginal revenue curve, and we'll label that one as well. Then we're going to draw our marginal cost curve, so we'll just put that right there, and we'll drag it down, and we'll label this marginal cost. And then we're going to draw in our average total cost. For this, before we draw the average total cost curve in, we're just going to find Q star first, just so that we make sure that we get it exactly where it's supposed to be to properly show where the average total cost curve is supposed to hit, so that we get zero economic profit. So we'll take the pen tool. We've got our, always have to find marginal cost for marginal revenue to find Q star, so we'll go down to the Q axis and we'll label that Q star. So Q star is right there, and then we have to go up to the demand curve to find out what the price is going to be. So we'll go right up here. We'll use black to make it easier to see, then blue. Alright, so price is right about here. We'll drag this over, and that's going to be the price at which we'll sell our product at, so we'll label that P. And then from here we're going to draw our average total cost curve in, just so it's a little bit easier to see where it has to hit the, I'm going to redraw that, just so we can see it has to hit right here, the minimum of the ATC has to hit. So let's see if we can. Right about there is where the ATC has to hit the demand curve to make sure that we have zero economic profit. So we'll label this as the average total cost curve, and we'll just throw in there again the average variable cost curve, just to throw it in there. Whoop! Back up on that. And we'll draw this again, and we'll label that line average variable cost curve. And then right here we can see why this is zero economic profit, because the point where the ATC meets the demand curve is actually the price. So if the ATC was up here somewhere, you would have a point where your cost would be, your per unit cost would be, so you'd be making losses because it would be above this area. And if you were making profits, the ATC would be below the price, so the per unit cost would be below, so you'd be making profits because your cost would be below the price that you were receiving from customers. But in this case, the ATC is right on this point that corresponds with the price for the demand, so the firm isn't taking in any extra money for profits. It's just really covering the average total costs for the firm. And the firm once again was Jessica's Bakery, not Barkery, so Jessica's Bakery, and in this case you would be staying open because you are covering your operational costs, but hopefully in the future the average total cost would hopefully decrease so that Jessica's Bakery could be making profits and become a successful business. But this picture, this graph is showing that Jessica's Bakery is making zero economic profits, and this is the last graph for the Rust Special. So yeah, the price searcher making zero economic profit.